Well, like many of you, I've been watching the United States presidential debate. I know from a New Zealander's point of view, sometimes these things can come across very, I won't say comical, but, it's very hard, I think, for New Zealanders to get their head completely around what's happening in America right now. I know it's very chaotic, but to be honest, I didn't see the last 10 minutes of the debate, but if I was taking it from a non-biased perspective, and I do try to look through the lens of the swing voter, because that's the one that's going to win the election. Both the Democrats and the Republicans, they've got their camps, of course, but there's those middle swing voters that are going to determine the outcome of the election. And if I was watching it from a non-biased perspective, and I know everybody's got a bias, I would think that Kamala Harris actually came out on top. Now, I know a lot of people might be upset with me about that. Of course, if you listen to either CNN or Fox News, it depends which one you listen to. You're going to hear a completely different story, no two ways about that. I think Donald Trump just doesn't answer the questions. He goes off track. Obviously, when he was president, he did a great job, and all those Russian hoaxes and all that kind of stuff, the court cases, it's been absolutely a fiasco. And I think he'll do a great job again as the president. And all this talk about the threat of democracy is just such a load of rubbish. But the problem with Kamala Harris, even though, as I said, she may have come across well in the debate, my problem is I don't really believe a lot of what she said. The reason for that is she's had 4 years to do what she's been saying she's going to do, be it the border, be it the war in the Ukraine. I mean, she's been in power with Biden for the past 4 years, and Biden hasn't really been present, so I guess she's been it. But she hasn't accomplished what she said she was going to do in any case, and now she's kind of, I won't say done a flip-flop on everything, but on a lot of things. But my point of this little post is to ask you this question, because it does relate a little bit to New Zealand. How can the Vice President, Kamala Harris, who just a few months ago was the worst polling Vice President ever, the most unpopular ever, that's not being slanted against her, that's just the facts on all polls. How can the worst polling Vice President ever overnight, and even though we know she is unelected into this role, which is undemocratic in itself, but how can she become the popular darling? They talk about it being the joy factor of the United States with the laughter, but how can she go from zero to hero? I just want to say it's simply the media and their narrative. I mean, I saw it with Jacinda Ardern, let's be honest. In 6 weeks, she went from zero to hero when she first became Prime Minister. The media has got so much to answer for in the sense of what they push, what they don't push, what they say, what they don't say. And, I've heard different reports in relation to the polls in America, who's winning and who's not winning and all that. And, they're neck and neck, and maybe that's so. Of course, it'll tell on the day as long as it's not rigged. And, there's a lot of corruption around the world in governments today. It's such a shame, really. There's so much evil in the world today. No two ways about that. But it is interesting from an outsider's perspective, and I pray for America. It's a great country, great people there, and I would like to see America become, if I said, great again. And so it's just an interesting scenario, and so I'd love people of faith to be in prayer for America, and I hope that President Trump can answer the questions and stay on track, and let's believe for the next few weeks, it's not that far away before the election, that especially God would have his way over there in America. So, hey, I just wanted to share that with you, and I'm sure there'll be other debates, and I hope he does better and all that kind of thing. So I could be wrong. You probably wouldn't agree. Some of you wouldn't agree with me on that. But as I said, that's just the way that I saw it sitting there listening to it. So I think it's his election to lose, and I wouldn't like to see him lose it myself. Not that I get to vote, but I just want to say, hey, blessings, and believe in God for it.